the news.
Mikey.
New York Vinnie, how are you?
I'm good, Michael Knight. How are you, pal?
Well, I got a complaint about my car.
You do?
It seems like every 2 weeks another tail light goes out. So I'm gradually replacing the turn signals, the backup lights, the tail lights, the running lights. They're all going one at a time.
Wow.
Every time I turn around, there's another one going. I got the car
That's
wash yesterday, and the guy said, "Your left tail light is out." I'm going, I'll be damned. It seems like I just did that.
so
So,
ones are going out that you've already replaced. It's not like they're going out here and then here and then here and then here and then here.
no, they're going out in a random fashion, and I don't think that the ones that I'm replacing are going out. It's just that there's so many lights in the display these days that
Yeah.
it's.
Well, and
I guess they're all aging out at the same time.
yeah, those the type of lamps do you have? Do you still have the old bulbs, or
Bulbs.
do you have now the LED?
Well, up in front there's some LED, but and I have replaced those recently. But tail lights, the old light bulb.
Okay, so that's not bad. So those, I forget how much they cost, but I remember replacing those things. There was two numbers, 1034 and 1157,
I'll take
and
an 1157, please.
you have the 1157. I believe the 1157s were the double, and the 1034s were single filaments. If I remember my my part numbers right. Um,
Well, after our show, I'm gonna head over and get that replaced, repaired, fixed. Because I don't like driving on the LA freeway without being able to tell those other people that I am stopping.
well, Michael, you resort to the now. I don't know if this is still legal in California. I mean, I would imagine
Hand signals.
uh, you use hand signals,
That on the freeway is a little impractical.
and they would allow you to. Although
State my case.
these days you use a hand signal, you could get shot.
No one knows what they mean.
Yeah, you stick your arm out the door, and I remember, right turn, left turn, stop, because
That's
when I passed my driver's test, you had to know them.
yep. You still do, I think. But the notion that everyone behind you in 5 lanes of freeway can see your hand signal is is a novel notion. It's not,
Yes,
it doesn't translate very well into reality. I
yeah,
gave him the hand signal.
it's a kid with Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Well, officer, I was signaling.
When suddenly,
Uh, I had my hand up like this, and 10 people with Teslas went like this.
I have a question for all the guys in Donald Trump's cabinet this morning who got up early and put on their suits and went to work thinking that they were going to be part of the cabinet meeting, and they were not needed for anything. Donald Trump did all the talking until Leon Mux decided he had something to say, and then that was it. They didn't ask the Secretary of State, they didn't ask the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of the head of the FBI, none of the recently appointed madmen from the streets of America that now work for Donald Trump were asked to say anything except for Leon Mux. And I found that interesting. If, if that were my job, if I were Secretary of Defense, I'd just say, if it's going to be like this always, don't bother inviting everybody. Just have your meeting, say what you're going to say, but don't impose upon us this business of sitting quietly with our hands folded with a pad of paper in front of us with nothing written on it, while you and Leon just run your mouth, jam your gums, and otherwise fill the airways with unverifiable content, words that do not amount to fact, notions that cannot be
Yeah.
reinforced with research or fact checking, just running your gums,
Do you
lying to the
think
American
that
people.
there's a well, I'll put it like this: do you think that Trump would even have a cabinet if he probably wasn't constitutionally required to have one?
Well, the Constitution is a burden for Donald Trump, as we know.
Yeah.
It makes his every day. It makes getting those burgers and the ketchup off the wall all the more difficult because
Yeah.
he usually likes the Secretary of the Interior to clean the walls in his office.
Yeah. I alone can fix it.
Ketchup is a stain, you know. It just stains. There's that tomato juice in there. It's like
I alone
acidic.
can fix it. So, I, it's to occur to me that we are pretty damn coup,
Say again.
pretty close to a coup,
Oh yeah,
and not a coup coup.
cuckoo shoot. No, it's a coup d'état.
Yeah, but a really live, blown up, so far bloodless coup. And the
We can count on
people
the
who are
FBI
getting
to
hurt
save
the
us.
most in this coup are the people voted for him.
They are a simple, trusting people.
Well, yeah, I think there is because all the things that he says, he doesn't mean, and you can tell me how wonderful you think he is and how he's going to save the country and he's going to do this, going to do that. But the reality is, as we had said often before the election, this guy would not piss on you if you were on fire.
No way.
And now he's going after programs that are going to hurt the very people that voted for him.
Well, it's hard to cut these programs the way that they're cutting them without hurting everyone across the
Right.
board.
And again, we don't all. I mean, I don't think there's anybody alive in the United States that doesn't believe that some of the cutting of things in these programs need to be done.
But in this way, Vinny, I mean,
Not right.
that's just a comment that makes it say we all agree that there's waste in government. Well, wait a minute. Maybe we should not all agree on that until we know what the fuck we're talking about.
Well, listen, if you go to a doctor's office and you're in Medicaid, you have Medicaid or Medicare, you know that there's things that go on that are just plain stupid. Now, whether that's fraud or whether that's just a lack of regulation or what it is, but you can't take the Medicaid away and leave people without an option to go to a doctor or fire the doctor.
But
Or
Leon,
you have to study it. You have to look at it. You have to say what's going on. This is what's going on, and this is what's going on. And the government does that.
Leon and Donnie from Queens have another way to judge whether they want to cut it or not, and that
Right.
is, will this make people suffer? If it makes people suffer, we're behind it. We're going for it. We're all in, both boots.
Certainly seems like it does. It certainly seems like that because they don't just fire people, but they denigrate them, they embarrass them,
They lie about them.
they shut off their access. They lock. It's crazy. Now, yesterday, I guess 12 of those of the squad, the goon squad, decided that they had enough and said that this is what we signed up for.
I think it was 20 of them.
Was it 20? Might have been 20, yeah. And said that we're out. Out.
We're
This
not
is
doing
not
this
the way
anymore.
it's supposed to work.
Now, where did they come from, and what were they hired to do, and where have they been all this time? Because no one can seem to find them. The assistants for the Doge.
And it's funny because Trump never mentioned any of this before the. I mentioned that he was going to cut government. He was going to do this. He was going to do that. But
not with the secret squad.
Leon was never mentioned as an official part of government. And again, where are those who are in charge of the checks and balances? Oh, they're Republicans. So they go along with Trump because they're afraid that they're going to get primary, going to lose funds, or they're going to get kicked out of their job.
They're afraid, period. They're just
They're
afraid.
just afraid. So they're going to go along. And you have people that are sitting there lying to our faces and laughing about it. Well, we're just the dumb American people. Well, I got some news for the American people. The American people, no matter who you are, Trump loyalist or Democrat or liberal or conservative, you all better wise up.
Well, that's asking a lot of a country that invented the phrase "a sucker born every minute."
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Maybe this is the destiny. Maybe this is the way this thing is. It's hard for me to believe that this is the way it's supposed to go, but maybe it is.
So it's 23 minutes past 10. We've been on since 10:10. That's 13 minutes. That's 13 suckers born.
According to who said that wasn't P.T. Barnum, was it?
I think so.
Yeah. So, and he's probably, I'm sure he's underestimated it.
On the national average.
Do they have they had that tote board for the national debt. Do they have a tote board that says the amount of suckers that have been born day or per hour or per minute?
P.T. Barnum. There's a sucker born every minute is the quotation often associated with P.T. Barnum. The American showman.
Well, the man who brought you the circus also brought you that pearl of wisdom.
Well, he put people in a tent and insisted that they be entertained by clowns. So that'll give you some idea of what P.T. Barnum had in mind. He needed more. Get me another Tom Thumb is what I need. Okay.
I thought he said get me another Tom Collins.
That was after he placed his order for yet another Tom Thumb.
After the Tom Thumb.
And that's a double Tom Collins, please.
Well, everything that's going on is outraging most people. And they have been in contact with me that say, what are you talking about? This is what needs to happen in this country. If some people get hurt, well, that's just, but I noticed that those people that talk like that are people that generally have money, generally are in a place where they don't have to worry about their Medicaid going out. They don't have to worry about all of the different things that are going on with programs and things being taken away. Because when they cut this money, they're going to get a share of it probably.
Or as they say, I'm all right. The hell with you.
I'm all right. Screw you. That's going to be, replacing God we trust.
There's plenty of that to go around, that attitude. That's a well-traveled American standby. I got mine, good luck to you. Or I got mine and I wouldn't mind having yours too.
Sadly, I think that's something that is the next step. I think that's what you see as the logical next way for this to go is that all of these different people all of a sudden wind up saying, hey, not only do I have mine, but Send me over a little bit of yours too.
You weren't looking. You were taking care of yours, so I got the steward. All I want is half your mineral rights for heavy metals.
I as we talked about the other day, I wonder how this deal's going to work with the Ukraine. Where they're going to get the mineral rights. Do you think that Putin's going to just let them walk in there and take over?
It'll be one of those Robert De Niro things. It's right down the corner. Just get in there. It's right there. Take a right.
Yeah,
It's right at the end. It's right there.
Yeah, just no. Next one. Next one.
One more.
Where you going? I gotta go. I gotta go. Oh, he gets into the Volvo. Raised it. It starts. Well, let's see. What destruction is planned for today?
Well,
Republicans set their sights on California's electric car plan.
What do they want to do? Have a parade?
Well, yeah. What they want to do is California has that thing, that waiver that allows them to set their own pollution standards, and some states and the rest of the United States follow along. But the California law supersedes the rest of the country.
That's right.
And a number of states go along with it because it's actually one of the best laws ever written about pollution, automobile pollution. California required air pumps on cars to lessen pollution years before anybody else did.
You remember what the skies over LA used to look like? And why they looked that way?
I'm old enough to remember, and I'm sure you are too, that they look pretty dark on some days.
Brown.
And they smell pretty danky and skanky on some days.
Yep.
And it was a major of comedians' material.
Bob Hope had small
Bob
jokes.
Hope, Red Skelton, even George Carlin.
And it's because it was funny. The pollution was hilarious.
And I guess that's what they're saying. Lee said it the other night. How come they make comedy illegal? As he was holding a chainsaw. Always seems that Musk is holding a weapon.
Visual aids.
Have you ever noticed that?
He's got challenges to his authority that may threaten his existence. And soon he could wake up dead.
He just always seems to be holding some kind of the chainsaw was immediately hilarious to me.
The odd thing is he doesn't make a lot of sense when they call on him. Leon, tell us about your day. What have you cut today? What's your plan for the future? How's this going? How are your assistants helping you? And his answer is so unfocused and so rambling that you forget the question because you're just trying to follow along with what he's saying. What is he trying to tell me? What is his message? What is his means of communication? What did he say? What did he mean? We have no way of knowing. It's just he's another babbler. When Trump and Leon get together, who gets to talk? Because nobody's making any sense. Nobody can spout a declarative sentence, a simple sentence, a Ernest Hemingway sentence, quick and to the point. They don't exist with these guys. They're just making up theories and means of communication as they go along.
It certainly seems that they don't. I don't know that he. I'm not going to say he doesn't know what he's talking about. Certainly, the way he presents it
makes you think that we don't know what he's talking about.
Right. And sometimes I think that it's intentional. He doesn't want you to know what he's talking about.
But I hope I didn't say anything that time. I didn't mean to.
He wants you, but yet, much like Trump, all of the people who know him, all of the people who are in the cult of Tesla, which is a cult as well, I don't know, are they holding talks to merge the two cults? Or does both ends vanity say that they have to keep the cults separate?
It's best to have two cults, play them off against one another.
Yeah. And you get to endorse grape Kool-Aid and you get to endorse strawberry Kool-Aid. Or my favorite, cherry Kool-Aid. Couldn't get enough cherry Kool-Aid when I was in summer camp. Usually served out of those aluminum pitchers.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Remember those aluminum pitchers that you see in I don't know, an ass serving situation? You get an aluminum pitcher into a solo cup, and that's how you got served your with coconut cookies. Life was simple then.
If you don't believe me, ask James Jones.
Yeah, that's probably why he used that, because he felt that, give people a little charge of nostalgia on the way out the door.
And the arsenic was a little bitter. You need something with a sweet, covering taste. If your plan for that afternoon is to have 900 people die after they drink your poison. By the way, they were all workers that were not essential to the running of the Jim Jones government. He had waste too, like everybody, and he cut it in that fashion. It's a waste cutting thing. A lot of people don't see it that way, but he was an efficient businessman.
It's interesting looking at the New York Times front page, and roughly, I haven't taken an actual count. I probably should, but roughly, I would 80% of the story on the front page of the New York Times have Trump in the headline. Have the word Trump. Now you couldn't buy that kind of stuff. I mean, not even president, former president. I mean, when did you see Biden's name? Unless unless it was they invaded Ukraine. When did you see Biden's name on the front page of the Times that much?
Joe Biden stubs his toe. Donald Trump does nothing.
And yet the headline is Trump laughs at stubbing his toe, calls him old fool. I mean, it makes you kind of wonder how much corporate media, big money media, is complicit in all of this stuff. I mean, I guess you got to put the headlines up there, but good God.
Well, if you're dismantling the federal government at this rate, causing this much confusion and chaos, then you're worthy of a headline, more than one.
And nothing subtle about what's going on, that's for sure. Well, now when you get down a little further, now you start to see a little bit less Trump. As a matter of fact, there's a headline here that says, writing the history of the Biden presidency in the Trump era. So Joe Biden, his own headline. They're writing the book guy, and he can't. And Biden can't get a headline of his own. They got to get Trump in there somehow.
Trump allows Biden's story to be printed in the New York Times.
All right, let's find something we can't blame on Trump. Okay, how about because we talk about Trump, we take up half the show talking about Trump, and I'm not saying we shouldn't, because there's some serious going on here. No matter how much people want to deny it, there's some serious shit going on here. And you can certainly ignore it if you don't depend on Social Security, or if you don't depend Medicaid, if you don't depend on Medicare, if you don't depend on some kind of government assistance,
Veterans coverage.
veterans pensions like that, federal workers pensions. You think that all those people that they've gone after, fire all of them, that's going to be it? Or they're not going to walk over to the big building that has all the pension records to start saying, oh, well, you get this, and you get this, and you get this. Notice that the congressmen have stood up and said anything about the federal worker cut. And one thing it does, and it was painfully obvious yesterday, as Marjorie Taylor Greene was going on a rant about federal workers, never stopped a moment to think that she is a federal worker.
Oh yeah, she gets paid by our government.
Yeah, she gets paid out of the same pot that
she's pissing in.
I get my money from Social Security every month. All of us that get Social Security, the Medicare, it all comes out of the same pot. Part of the pot may not be touchable, or so they say, but it still comes out of the same. But you, once again, you idiot bimbo, you show the reason why they elected you back to Congress.
Do your job. That's what the crowds are chanting when members of Congress return to their constituency and have a meeting of the voters. What do you think of the life you've inherited because you voted for the Republicans? What do you think of it now? And
well, you can't yell at yourself. But I forget what show I was watching. What I was watching yesterday, but they had a reporter who went out and talked to a couple of people that for Trump, which seems to be a very popular thing these days.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like everybody's sending a reporter out to talk to people who voted for Trump.
What have you done?
Doesn't seem like it's a no-brainer. Perry White is sitting at his desk at the Daily Planet talking to Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen, saying, "You three, go down the corner, meet somebody that voted for Trump." Great Caesar's ghost.
Yes, Mr. White.
Meanwhile, Clark, sensing the danger in the whole situation, ducks into the storeroom.
Like you do.
Goes out the window.
He never steps on the rake or the mop or any of the cleaning implements in the
I don't even see a rake mop in that storeroom. Have you ever seen anything? Boxes? Anything besides the window in that storeroom?
Oh, it's a storeroom. I thought it was a cleaning closet. My mistake.
And if you watch it close enough, you'll see that the window that they use is the same window that's in his office, the same window that they have one window.
And one planet, and one printer, and one reporter.
You know, I mean, they were listening. They were shooting on a budget.
We don't have enough money to pay you a co-star, but we have enough money for a Jimmy to just sort of hang around and say, "Oh, Mr. Kent," or
Yeah,
Lois. Yeah, thank you, Mr. White.
great
It's or
Caesar's.
or to look out that one window and say, "It's Superman."
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Superman. You think Superman would be a Trumper these days?
Jimmy would. Perry White would.
Yeah, Jimmy and Perry probably would. I got a feeling Superman and Lois, who now probably live in the tallest building, yeah, could, you know, with their kids, 3 or 4 little half super kids.
Half super.
Yeah, don't jump out the window because you don't know if you're the one.
Your brother can fly, but you've never learned, so please listen to your daddy.
What are you? I'm Irish. What are you? I'm German and Norwegian. What are you? I'm half super, half not.
But I can do things, not like they
Yeah,
say.
I could do things. I'm not stupid like they say. I'm smart.
I'm smart.
I'm smart. I demand respect.
Something for me. Did you ever once think how that feels?
So anyway, we go through another day. We'll see what happens at the. It makes you. I mean, you're afraid to watch the news. You have to take it in small doses.
It's like the Giants with men on base. You know it's going to be ugly, but you don't know how it's going to be ugly or why it's going to be ugly. It's coming, but you can't say exactly how.
Well, again, I don't worry about it much until because have the Mets won a spring training game yet? I don't even know if they have. They seem to be in the. But again, it's you can't even. I see people on social media, and they're all upset that the Mets haven't. Oh, this guy struck out, and that guy struck out. This guy didn't hit a home run, and where's the money's worth? I liked it better in the days when not many people knew where spring training even was.
Or what was going on in spring training. What are they really trying to do down there? It ain't
Right.
baseball.
Right. Or find a girl for the other, As a friend of mine who used to live in Vero Beach once said to me, the guys in Vero Beach hated spring because all the girls would be at the ballpark looking for a little ball player act.
Baseball Annies.
Yeah. And finally, I guess finally that stopped when the Dodgers moved out west. So that they could be close to the Giants.
Who does train in Florida now? The Yankees?
Yankees, Mets, Phillies, Blue Jays, Cardinals, Orioles, Washington.
Cleveland?
Nah, Cleveland's been out west for a long time. Cleveland's been out west since I think the 60s, maybe even the late 50s. They've been in Tucson, High Corbett Field. And they've been a facility that they play in. They may have modernized it, but it was a great old. Who am I missing?
Houston?
I'm missing. The White Sox are.
I guess the Marlins train in Florida. That would seem
Yeah,
simple.
that probably. Yeah, although it'd be a novel idea to have them uh, go over to Arizona to train.
In the T.
Astros, I think, are still in Florida. Pirates are in Florida. I don't know if I mentioned. Rangers are in Arizona. And the Brewers are in Arizona.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, I'm sure, is in Florida.
That's another team without a stadium.
Well, it's interesting because it's going to cost them. They're going to have to put $70 or $80 million into fixing up the old stadium, while they're going to have to put another $500 million into building a new stadium.
And they tried after the hurricane that destroyed their current stadium. The roof came in. They tried to put the screws to the city. Our agreement's off because our stadium was hurt. Why don't you pay for this and we'll pay for a little of that and you pay for the rest. Pick up the tab on that.
Yeah, you pay everything, we'll pay nothing is basically the way it's going to roll out. Listen, for my money, this would be the perfect time to cut the cord. I mean,
who gets the mineral rights? So.
Never drawn a ton of people. Even in the years it was a very competitive club in the American League. It's a crap. I mean, picture the Kingdome with a slanted roof.
That's what you got.
It's a substandard facility. No matter how much lipstick they put it, it's still a big piece of moving pork. And I don't understand why they just back it up. The Major League Baseball stay as they did with the Expos.
Put everything in the truck and go.
Going. You have one team. If you want to go watch baseball, go down to Florida, go down to Miami, where baseball also isn't doing any good. It's look. If you can't draw with the number of Cubans in Florida, if you can't draw people to a stadium,
if you can't get them the least bit interested in their team, their own team,
then you're screwed. You're screwed. And they spend all this money on a ballpark in Miami, and after the first or so, they're not drawing anybody there either.
Couldn't get Don Mattingly to go to the games, and he was the manager.
Yeah, they have all for him every day. I can do this from home. I can work from home. These other people are working from home. Why can't I?
Donnie Baseball, you want to change the pitcher? He's got the bases are loaded. And he doesn't look. Yeah. Bring in somebody. Who's ready?
Donnie
that
Baseball. Guy. So I don't know. I just think it's a tremendous waste of money. But they seem to be hell-bent that it's a part of their development downtown. I mean,
they want downtown baseball.
Yeah, they want downtown baseball. The current stadium is not downtown. It's the only. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me to fix the one stadium and then start building another stadium. At the very least, what they ought to do is move the team to New Orleans. for 2 years or 3 years and start on a new stadium.
But I insist they play on a football field with a short outfield fence.
Well, in New Orleans, they got the dome. I mean, I'm sure that thing can. Matter of fact, I think the team that plays in there, don't the Pelicans play? Not the Pelicans. Well, I forget what the name of that team in New Orleans.
AAA?
So I think so, yeah. So somebody plays in there. And you get 2 years of your team in another, probably draw more people in New Orleans than you would in Tampa.
I think you have a pretty good argument there.
And yeah, just as a matter of curiosity. I mean, any team will draw 25,000 people a game as a curiosity. You know, limited run. It becomes the play B in the city for a couple, for 2 years. I mean, I don't think they're going to draw in what they're going to play at the Yankees minor league facility.
Mm-hmm. And it's only got 12,000 seats.
Well, they'll have trouble selling that out too, probably. Well, again, maybe not because. But what are they going to do in the summer when it's 95 degrees and 95 humidity?
Play ball.
Another Major League Baseball production.
And they know that when you only get 2 challenges during a game for balls and strikes, what we're seeing in spring training is when they challenge, the call was probably wrong. Was that a strike or was that a ball? Well, I say it was a strike. You're out. Well, I want to see it again. I'm challenging that one. Turns out you were wrong.
Yeah, the umpiring has become a little lazy, I believe.
Yep.
Now, whether that's just spring training or not, it doesn't seem to be like that in the regular season. I guess the only way I mean, I don't have the figures for last year, but it would almost stand to reason that the umpires get it right way more than they get it wrong.
You should.
Or they would have to fire a bunch of them. Because isn't that the only way they can put an umpire now is if he's wrong a certain, he has a. I mean, I know that some of the strike zone last year were horrific.
Yeah.
And I thought I saw more balls outside the strike zone called a strike than I can remember in a long time.
Maybe it'd be better if umpires were federal employees. We could ask them via email what name 5 things you've done correct this week.
That might be the next thing is Rob Manfred will call up Musk and say, listen, when you're finished up there, can you come over here?
Check out my umpires.
Look at the umpires. And all of a sudden, umpire goes to the ballpark and his key card doesn't work to get into the umpire's room, and his clicker doesn't click anymore.
Strike. Hold on.
It's
strike
stopped on 2 balls.
That's from yesterday.
I can't get it to click. Give me another one. No. Sorry. Your clicker has been suspended.
Clicker rights have been suspended. Your access to clicker information and clicker conclusions suspended.
Have you watched much or seen much of the baseball of the Giants?
Just some highlights.
Yeah.
Go.
Anything standing out to you?
We got a new shortstop, Adames. I like him. Our left side of the infield is strong with Chapman at third base and Adonis at short. Our pitching is okay. We got our center fielder back, June Hoon. He had, I think, knee surgery last year or arm surgery. Ran into the fence in the outfield and was lost for 90% of the season.
But I tell you, it really bothers me.
He has returned. We still got
I
Bob
was,
Melvin. Bob Melvin seems resigned to his fate.
it'd be hopefully this year will be better than last. The unfortunate thing with the Mets is that there's almost no way that this year could be better than last. I mean, the only thing they can do is go to the World Series or win the World Series. Because last year was such an incredible year.
Repeating is difficult. That's for sure.
That, how do you repeat that? I mean, I am glad that they kept Pete Alonso. Alonso figured something out. It would have been sad for him not to be there. I don't know. Once he hired Boris as his agent, you thought that thing was going south. And the Mariners, the Mariners.
They're going to field a team this year or just sell hot dogs and
well, the Mariners are interesting in that they have pitching. They have more pitching than really they could use.
And that's the imbalance that they're going to go with. We have so much pitching that we can't use what we have.
Find a deal for offense. And there's something that's really suspicious when you have that much pitching and you can't find a deal for it. They wouldn't spend any money to sign anybody of consequence.
What do the other teams in Major League Baseball think of the Mariners? Do they consider them a major league team, or are they just an afterthought?
A lot of the people I talk to equate them to the Pirates, oddly enough.
The team that occasionally puts together. They have some young talent that they can't keep.
They have some talent, but they're not going to spend any money. They're much more interested in making money than they are competing. And there are teams that are, that's their edict. Their owners say, well, this is a business.
This is the business we have chosen.
Yeah, and we're not going to be able to spend the money that the Yankees or the Mets or the Cubs or the richer teams can spend. We Mariners have been rebuilding since 2010.
The rebuild from '93 is still in progress.
Now they might get lucky.
Baseball is an interesting sport, but it's not based on luck very often.
Right, and all the things. Well, I would disagree with that. I think you do have to be lucky. I think a little bit of luck is. I mean, the numbers will always prove out to be the numbers. But certainly these have to go your way for it to happen. The Mariners, their problem is going to be the same problem that they've had. The hitters don't hit.
Say that again.
The hitters don't hit.
Now, see, there's a problem that should have been addressed in the offseason. And
The
yet,
last two off seasons. But what's worse with the Mariners is that the hitters do hit once they leave the club.
I got the hang of it over here.
But once they go somewhere else.
I woke up in Chicago, and I know you're not going to believe this. It's a miracle, but I can hit.
Teoscar Hernandez is your perfect example. Couldn't keep the ball when he was here. Got to the Dodgers.
And he's a vital part of the offense.
You know, I mean, and I know we talked about this last year, that he's not the only one. That the Mariners seem to have a long list of players.
A complete list.
A complete list of players who have come here, signed for big money, and
took a nap.
Either they were successful before they got here, or they left here and were successful. And
being in Seattle was just the kind of jolt they needed to bolster their career. I was a Mariner for a year. I got a lot of rest. I didn't play baseball. I didn't think about the game. They traded me to the Royals, and I found my bat.
Yeah,
I found my calling. I mean, I was a hitter after all.
It's happened such that after a while it starts to make you think, what the hell is wrong?
Well, you know what it is. It's the alignment of home plate.
Well, that's what Teoscar Hernandez said. Is that there's something with the plate. Now,
first thing you noticed when he got to LA was that plate was lined up with center field. It was a simple thing.
I mean, you could hit a ball and they could drop in a bucket of gasoline at the Union 76 station out in the parking lot. It's just the way it goes. It's that Chavez ravine.
Where the hell's the ball? We only have one ball. Where is it? It's in the ravine.
In the ravine. We'll send Eddie Stanky out to get it.
Or send Steve Sachs, but tell him don't throw it when he finds it. Just bring it back. Carry it back.
Send Steve Garvey, but tell him not to run for office on the way out there or the way back. So I hope that the Mariners at least get somebody out to take a look at it.
This is season 3 of the misaligned home plate.
Yeah.
Finally, they're going to send somebody out to take a look at it.
I hope they at least send somebody out there winter. That thing right.
And if they send out an engineer and he says it's lined up perfectly, you say, I'm going to check your call. I appeal that call.
Well, maybe they'll, maybe one of the announcers in their new alignment. Or maybe, you know what? Dan Wilson, who's, been named the official manager.
Ooh, official.
Maybe he'll go out there at some point, and while he's changed, call down from upstairs. Hey, Danny, can you do us a favor?
Well, you're out there. Will you take a look at this thing?
The next time you're out there changing a picture, just give it a look-see.
A look-see. Don't just look at it. Give it a look-see.
Yeah, give it a look-see.
See what you think.
I don't use look-see that much anymore.
No, you look or you see, but a look-see combo is becoming increasingly rare.
Give it a look-see.
You know why? Because people don't want to see what they see when they look see.
Well, things aren't so good these days, so you don't want to
You,
really look
you
see.
don't want to look at that.
So could you go out there and take a look at it and give us a call when you get back to the dugout?
Right.
I have to, I've been meaning to do this. I have to give my friend Bob Christopherson a call, who used to be you remember Bob Christopherson, used to be the groundskeeper down at Tacoma. Then they brought him up to, well, they brought him to Safeco,
I like
but
it.
then
They
they
brought him up to.
changed him in a place. And nobody saw Bob again.
He took a look at it, and that was the last we saw of him.
He had a look-see. He went to Eastern Washington. He's out in Washington.
He's in Washington, and he's got a beautiful field.
What a field he's got.
And the home plate is apparently aligned with the flagpole in dead center.
I don't think the flag, they have a flagpole in dead center. I think the flagpole is up on the rim. It goes around the stadium.
Foul pole, fair pole.
No. It's in like kind of in the left center field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have the flags that you see on top of the stadium. Now, again, it's been a while since I've been in there. So I'm trying to think now, but I'm not sure that they have, like many traditional ballparks have that flagpole in center field.
Right.
Where they hang the pennant from.
Theoretically.
But fortunately, the Mariners
don't have that
have
problem.
never won a pennant.
So they don't need a flagpole. That's a substantial savings right there.
So you don't need the center field flagpole. You can just put the flag up there with the other flags. I mean, you have a couple of division titles, but never won a pennant, never been to the World Series.
And not in any danger of actually going this year to either one.
Well, I'll have to have a lot of luck. No.
Oh dear, it's that bad.
They'll have to get pretty lucky. Yeah, they will have to wind up getting pretty lucky to go to the World Series. All of that will have to happen.
Lucky is when you get a triple play in the seventh inning and still lose the game. I thought you said that was lucky. It was for the other team.
Very lucky for the Cardinals out by to help themselves to a heap of help in the hospitality. But I don't see them going to the World Series. No, I got a feeling that they're going to make the playoffs this year. I think that pitching might be good enough. Can they
survive a decision from the front office like saying, we're going to have just one post-game meal. The winner of the game gets the meal. The loser of the game gets nothing.
Exactly.
You go out and get your own burger.
Nobody eats until we win a game. But it's an epic. It just they didn't do anything to help this team along, offensively. As people will say, well, if you have pitching, you have everything. No.
You don't have luck.
No, if you have pitching, you have a solid foundation to have everything, but you still have to score one more run than the other.
Unless they change the rules, and they are changing them gradually every year.
Well, some people don't want them to change the rules and say that if a team doesn't win anything in a certain period of time, that they shouldn't be in the league. Like soccer does it.
So the clock is ticking on whether you can actually even be in the league?
Right, but somehow that doesn't. I don't know that that's going to work in baseball. We have a capitalistic view of things. It would be funny though if that were the case, where if you didn't win 80 games, 82 games in a certain number of years, you drop down to the minor leagues and they bring the team up.
What happens to our team? Well, you're going to play with the Rough Riders in Canada.
Well, yeah, you better get used to Vancouver for some games. Remember those showers that you enjoyed so much here? Well, now you're going to know what the word major league really means. When you have one shower outside, it's one of those camp showers where the clubby has to keep pouring water into it.
And after the first bag is empty, the water's cold.
Well, that's when the hot water runs out.
It runs out. The winning team gets hot water and a meal.
The winning team gets hot water. You get cold water. I don't know. I just I think they'll be, and you know what? I think that they'll fulfill the mission statement of the team, to have a team that's enjoyable to watch at least half the time you come to the ballpark.
That's their guarantee to their fans.
I don't think they guarantee their fans anything except a good time and hot dogs falling from the sky.
No one's ever guaranteed a good time in baseball. You just can't guarantee it.
A seat in the ballpark.
There's a guarantee.
That's what you get guaranteed. If you buy a ticket, you'll get a seat in the ballpark.
Or a reasonable facsimile.
More than that, we can't give you, because it's a game. And part of the unwritten contract between the fan and the baseball club is that you're going to do everything you can do to win.
The biggest letters on Giants tickets back in the day was the two-word rain check. And now I don't know. Do teams that play indoors have rain checks?
I don't think so. Although we almost had a rain out at Safeville one. I remember I was there one Saturday. The roof was open, and it started to rain, and they couldn't get the roof closed.
What are you going to do?
Came very close to having the first rain out in a stadium with a roof on it.
And who
built that roof? A good 20 minutes, a half hour to get the roof closed.
Did you try turning it off and turning it on again?
I know two things about that day. I remember there was panic in the operations.
Oh yeah, I bet.
There was a ton of panic going on. A lot of screaming. People, remember how the coaches used to scream at Wazoo when we sit next door and in the coaches' room? The room up in the press box with the coaches screaming, "Son of a bitch, mother!" Was a lot of that going on. And I also remember that Chuck Armstrong, our old friend and former president of the club, Chuck Armstrong was on phone from somewhere. I think he was back east somewhere. And he was screaming so loud that you could hear him.
Did you even test the roof before the game? Well, we didn't test it so that it was tested. We tested it in a way that it was untested.
Well, you don't understand, Chuck. The company that built the thing is from here.
They're from here. They know.
They're from here. They're from right down the block.
And they say it's going to be fine. What's a little water? What are you afraid of?
Yeah. I remember them. I remember them rolling out the tarp.
I'm surprised they have a tarp.
Well, and that was the question.
Why do you have a
Why
tarp?
did the team with the roof on the stadium have a tarp?
Well, you have to understand what kind of roof we have.
Made down the block.
The reason we kept the tarp is because the guys who made the ceiling are from here. You'd keep it
I
too.
don't think the tarp had ever been used before.
Brand new tarp.
You know, they might have rolled it out at some point just to check it for holes or whatever. But I don't remember that the tarp was ever used. It was certainly a comedy of errors. I mean, it was really. I don't know what the result, why the roof wouldn't open. I don't know if they had to call Dan Wilson and say, "Hey, Danny, would you go up the roof?
Go out there and take a look.
Would you go up to the roof and have a look see if you can?"
I can see from here it ain't working. I know. We know that. Anybody can see that. We need another look see. We need somebody with a
Yeah,
trained
the
eye.
wheels aren't turning. You know, it's got them big wheels and they're not turning.
I wonder if they're aligned correctly with the flagpole. That could be a problem.
Plug it in, pull it out again. See if that works. Oh, and that is there's a big argument. I know we're probably coming up against time here, where we are. You know what? There's a big controversy going on down there, but let's save it for Friday because it'll take me 10 minutes to explain it. So why don't we meet up here again Friday morning?
It'll be a freaky fractious Friday, Vinny.
Well, and half the government will be missing.
Maybe, yes.
Half the government. I got a note on my
your patutor?
On my telephone, my hand patutor, that somebody that I know resigned from their job in the government.
Somebody you know?
Somebody I know, yeah, resigned from their job in the government because they saw no.
They didn't see a future in it.
They didn't see a future. It's about what it amounts to. They didn't want to stick around and be overworked and underpaid. So put another one up there for the Trump administration.
Donald Trump says his cabinet disagrees a little bit with Elon Musk.
Well, I can guarantee you that if you disagreed a lot of it, you'd be gone. It appears to me that the last thing you want to do is disagree with President Leon.
Well, the Trump administration announces that they're going to start converting federal agencies' senior level workers to political appointees only. So
You knew that was coming.
They're just Trump heads everywhere you look. And the similarity between them is hilarious in that they don't seem to have any natural gifts for intelligence, if you've noticed, or a grasp of what they're supposed to be doing in the government.
Yeah,
any interest, or in the case of the FBI, even any interest in being in a federal bureau.
Wasn't that the spoils system that back when people used to have to line up at the White House government jobs?
Possibly.
Back in I want to say like the Grant administration back in the late 1800s.
Post-Civil War Ulysses S. Grant job appointees were.
Yeah, they used to have to line up. If I remember my history right, and I wasn't there for it, so I didn't see it. But there used to be the people would have to line up and curry favor with the president or his minions to get a job in the government.
And they take a look-see at him.
And they come out, take a look-see, see which ones they liked. They
Notice you
invite
don't
him in.
put,
It was kind of like
you,
just 54.
you don't just look, you take a look-see.
You take a look-see. Oh, man. All right.
Guys who take look-sees don't have batteries. They have batteries.
The batteries. Yes, they're batteries. And what do they put in their car? 5 quarts of Earl.
All
Make
right,
sure
Vinnie.
the battery doesn't run down.
I got to go get a taillight if the creek don't rise.
All right. If the lights on the creek don't rise, you'll get a tail light. And hopefully that'll fix your problem. And if not, we'll be sitting here looking at schematics of your car on Friday.
I'm going to have that car aligned with center field before I drive it again.
But you're close to Dodger Stadium. Why don't you get out there and see if Teoscar is there? We might be able to just let it tell you.
Let me eyeball this. Yeah, it looks good. Off you go.
Take a look see while you're out there.
You want me to take a look see or you want me to eyeball it? What's both?
You're up eyeballing it. All right, man. I'll see you on Friday, Mikey.
See you.
Peace, love, and Manischewitz, baby.
What a wine. That wine is aligned beautifully with center field.
Oh, it's perfect. Right there on the shelf.
See you.
See you later. Thank you all for listening. By the way, don't forget to like us and subscribe to us on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, or even if you're not YouTube, find Golden V Media and like us. We need the subscribers, please. All right, bye.